Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have plans this evening? You okay?
Who are you?
A friend.
Thank you for believing in me.
Listen, there's something I have to do. I'll see you later.
Will, how are you doing, brother? It is an honor to have you on. Merry Christmas.
Benny Johnson. What an honor to be on the Benny Show. I'm truly, truly excited, and same to you, man. Merry Christmas.
Dude, what's going on here? Like, what? Like, in what universe does the Republican Senate answer to the pages of the New York Times, and not to the Republican voters? And more importantly, can you explain to me why any member of the Republican Senate would think that they're wiser, smarter, or have more political power than Team Trump right now?
Or don't recognize the moment or seem to think they have a bigger mandate or responsibility than Donald Trump. You're exactly right in that we shouldn't have to worry about these defamation-based, libelous, slanderous attacks from the likes of NBC. We shouldn't have to worry about it because there's 53 Republican senators, and Donald Trump's pick for the cabinet should be rubber-stamped in. Let's recognize the moment. You did a great job in your monologue, Benny. This is a unique moment in history, I do believe this, a real opportunity for reformation on something that seems irredeemable, the United States government. And the way that it can be reformed is by appointing disruptors to the cabinet of Donald Trump. And that's exactly what he did. RFK to HHS, Tulsi Gabbard to DNI, Kash Patel to FBI, and Pete Hegseth to DOD. Now, some Republican senator that stands in the way of this, to me, says you don't recognize the moment or you are opposed to that disruption. This is our chance. This is the moment. And I do believe that it will happen. I'll give you two pieces of news today, Benny. Number one, there's been much made of Ron DeSantis, and Ron DeSantis will be attending Army-Navy game with Donald Trump. Well, Ron DeSantis, the Navy vet, will have to square off there because also in that box with Donald Trump will be an Army vet, Pete Hegseth. And then secondarily, pay attention to my X feed throughout the day, if you would, because I'm going to give an update. I know for a fact that there is a petition going around among the Navy SEAL community that is gathering an amazing number of signatures and some very big names who are all saying that we need a war fighter to lead as Secretary of Defense, and we need Pete Hegseth. And not to be outdone, I happen to also know the Green Berets and Special Forces community are circulating their own petition. Can't let the Navy SEALs have all the glory. And Green Berets will be throwing from the ground, from the grassroots, from the warfighters, Green Berets will be throwing their support behind Pete Hegseth.
Is there going to be, so that's awesome. I was wondering that. I was like, this was leading into some of the rumor mill that was happening, some of the scuttlebutt last weekend. Oh, wow, DeSantis is going to Army-Navy game. Listen, man, I live in Florida. I moved my entire business and family down to Florida, so I like Ron DeSantis' leadership. But I want Pete Hegseth in the chair. I need Pete Hegseth in the chair at SecDef. Right? And I didn't like the rumors that were circulating last week, and we did our best to do our own research there. And then when they announced that he'd be going to the Army-Navy game, that added to the rumor mill. Pete Hegseth will be in the box standing next to President Trump, maybe even on the field next week, this weekend. That's so awesome.
Yes, and that is correct. You said something really, and here's why we need Pete, truthfully. And I do this, and I want to do it on your program as well. I want to acknowledge to your audience, Benny, that I am biased. There is no doubt. I have to start any relationship with an audience with truth. I think it's the authenticity and truth is the only differentiator in today's media economy, Benny. So here's the truth. I am biased when it comes to Pete Hegseth. But I hope that doesn't turn off your ears. I hope, in fact, that turns on your ears to say, why would Will be so biased toward Pete Hegseth? And your monologue, you laid this out really well. Benny, you ever seen that clip of Jordan Peterson going around? He's talking to, I believe it's actually John Stossel, and he's talking about being dangerous, that men should be dangerous. Whether or not that means learning MMA or how to fight or work out, men should be dangerous. And Stossel pushes back on that. He goes, no. If you're not dangerous, then there's no such thing as self-discipline. You're just weak. You want to be dangerous and then exercise self-discipline and control. This is what I think Pete represents to DOD, Benny, because we have the worst of both combinations right now. We are weak. We are infused with DEI, with trans ideology. We're looking and picking for fights everywhere we turn, and we are intent on losing those fights by making ourselves weak. Pete's the opposite, man. He is going to focus on lethality for DOD, making us the most feared and respected fighting force on the planet. And then, Benny, exercising wisdom, prudence about where to flex that muscle, not looking for forever wars, not looking to Lindsey Graham our way into bombing every war, but instead exercising discipline after establishing our danger. I think Pete Hegseth is the guy, the moment, and the only person for DOD. I'm biased because I know Pete.
So please take a step back and explain to me the horrors of Pete Hegseth having a beer on St. Patrick's Day. I know that was one of the hits. Oh man, the moment I saw that, Will, I was like,
yeah,
and I married like 100% Irish woman. And so it was just horrifying in the Johnson household. I was like,
okay,
wow.
I don't even know, man.
Somebody has a beer on that was one of the hits. Just to inform the audience. One of the big media scandals was that Pete Hegseth once drank a beer on St. Patrick's Day after working. Some of the others were anonymous level Kavanaugh level smears, which is a tactic that has been used for decades against men like Pete Hegseth, Brett Kavanaugh, Donald Trump, and anyone that they wish to keep from power. And I want to destroy that tactic, Will. So can you please, as a character witness, talk about what you've seen working with Pete Hegseth for the better part of a decade?
Yeah. Look, I haven't had trouble keeping up, to your point. Like, I saw something going around, like Pete Hegseth in his underwear at the 9/11 memorial. He's wearing silkies after swimming 3 miles with the Navy SEALs and doing 300 push-ups and 66 pull-ups in honor of the people that lost their lives and then fought subsequently in 9/11. There was a rumor going around. The alcohol rumors have been ridiculous. I don't know, like you pointed out, St. Patrick's Day. There was one, Benny, where it's like, oh my God, he's drinking on the job. And it was this special he did with warfighters where the whole bit was, we're going to have a sip of whiskey and talk about warfighting stories. That was the program. And so it's all been this Kavanaugh level effort to turn him into an alcoholic and abuser. I don't know, St. Patrick's Day, first of all, look, man, never seen him drink on the job. Never. Okay. And don't just take my word for it. On my ex, on the Will Cain show, Fox News, YouTube, we've laid it out. I mean, I don't know what I'm up to, 30 plus on the record sources saying this is not the man that NBC has portrayed. So you've got 10 anonymous sources. Cool. I see your 10 anonymous sources. I raise you 30 on the record. Is there beer on a St. Patrick's Day set? Yeah, there is. By the way, we don't drink on air. We know the rules. During commercial, did we joke around and take a sip? Yeah, as a joke, perhaps. But this is not somebody's like, I need my alcohol. I can't wait to drink at 10 a.m. This is a joke. And in fact, that you would turn it into something beyond a joke. I saw Jake Tapper do this on CNN. Well, if you rewind Pete's life, and he's been open about this, when he came back from war, so well over a decade ago, did he turn to the bottle at times? Yeah, he said he did. And he came back, but he wasn't an alcoholic. He just made the same mistakes that other vets have made when they're looking to reestablish themselves back into normal life. Pete's a flawed guy, dude. In his past, he's not without his mistakes, but he believes in redemption and savior. He says he's got two saviors, J&J, his wife, Jen, and Jesus. And I know the guy, and I've seen him. I'm just here to tell you. I'm not sitting here telling you, hey, your next nominee at DOD has been a perfect saint at every step of his life. But he certainly isn't a criminal. He's not accused of the things. He's not guilty of the things they're accusing him. And he is somebody that I vouch for their character today, that not only is a good human being dedicated to his children and his wife, to his God, but also has the wisdom, and by the way, the experience, 2 Bronze Stars, Army Commendation Medal, to go lead with strength and philosophy, the right philosophy, the Department of Defense.
I find it particularly rich, Will, that the party that wanted to put Bill Clinton back into the White House, the party that wouldn't even bother reporting on the credible ex-girlfriends of Doug Emhoff, talking about what an abuser, what a horrible monster that man is, wanted to put him in the White House. The party of Diddy, the party of Jeffrey Epstein. I find it rich that suddenly they have the highest moral values when it comes to anonymous allegations from decades ago. I really do. I think that the American people have rejected this officially in 2024 and has said, bring Lizzo on stage all you want. Lizzo has her own problems and her own lawsuits to deal with. Like, we don't need to hear moral lecturing from the Diddy list.
And the quantity when it comes to Pete, Benny, shows the weakness of the totality. They've thrown everything against the wall. This is spaghetti against the wall. It's tattoos. The latest from Politico is about his aggressive adoption of Christianity, which they would never write about any other religion whatsoever. They have talked about abuse and infidelity and alcohol, and I don't even know what else. They've thrown everything against the wall, showing the invalidity and weakness of them in whole. And so that makes you go, well, but why? Why are they doing this? It's because they fear the disruption. It's not because they fear any of one of those things in particular. When you throw that many things, obviously you're saying the other one wasn't that bad, so I got to move on to the next one. No, they fear the overarching thing, the umbrella thing, which is the disruption. I've thought about this, Benny. Is it because he works at Fox, like, and it's a undercutted cut on Fox by going after Pete? Maybe. Is it because he was in the media and they want to attack somebody in the media who doesn't fall in line? Maybe. Is it, I don't know, man, why he got the Kavanaugh treatment. But I also want to say one more thing about why you can see that it is insincere. While they throw thing after thing after Pete, when it all fails, they'll start throwing thing after thing after thing, and we've seen it start this week, at Tulsi. And then when that succeeds or fails, they'll move to RFK. And when that succeeds or fails, they'll move to Kash Patel. This is why it's not sincere. It's a coordinated campaign to take down Matt Gaetz, then Pete Hegseth, then Tulsi Gabbard, then RFK, then Kash Patel. And if any Republican senator is willing to give in to these insincere attacks, then maybe if you vote for Merrick Garland and you vote for Alejandro Mayorkas and you vote for Lloyd Austin, but you cave on Republicans, maybe you're a Democrat.
I think this is a perfect jumping off place because as somebody who is a strong, possibly the strongest character witness to Pete Hegseth and also an ally and a brother of his, Will, I wanted to get your take on the way that he's been treated in the Senate by some senators. We're not going to name them. What's your message to those senators who have come out and said, we had frank conversations with Pete Hegseth, who voted for Lloyd Austin willingly and proudly, yet are giving Pete a hard time? What would be your overarching message, I think, to the entire Republican Senate about potential cold feet being badgered and cudgeled by anonymous media reports again?
Well, Benny, I would say that I am somewhat skeptical, maybe even cynical, that me coming here today or even in person, if I were to visit Capitol Hill and giving character witness, giving character testimony for my friend would be the thing that influences any holdout among Republicans. Because I say, why are you holding out? Why? And I've talked about this on the Will Cain show. To me, it's a couple of potential options, three potential options. One, you trust the word of NBC over on-the-record voices who've known Hegseth for a decade. That's really disappointing to hear if that's what your choice in alignment is. Two, you want the job for yourself. You're not really concerned about his character. You want the job for yourself. Or three, another Republican senator who seems to be supporting Hegseth now, but had some hesitations at the beginning, might have been so deeply embedded in the Department of Defense, the defense contractor lobby, the Pentagon. He doesn't want to see that disruption that you and I talk about. It doesn't want to see a change to the Pentagon. And I don't think those motivations are going to be swayed by character witness, but instead they only will be swayed by repercussions. And quite honestly, those repercussions are twofold. And you've done a great job of laying it out. You are out of touch with America. You are out of touch with the Republican base. You are out of touch with the mandate for Donald Trump. But I'm here to offer one more thing for you, Benny. You are out of touch with the rank and file. If you are a senator who cares about the military, and I know that some of these senators that we're talking about care about not being seen as aligned with the Pentagon, some, but rather with the rank and file, I'm just here to issue you a warning. It's not a threat. It's a warning. I know. I'm not a vet. I'm not an American soldier. It'll be one of my great regrets in my life that's been highlighted to me by Pete Hegseth. I'll have two regrets. Both have been highlighted by Pete Hegseth. One, I didn't serve, and two, I didn't have more children. I wish I wish both of those things.
My man.
But, Benny, what I can tell you is I've gotten to know warfighters. I know them well. I swim with them in the Hudson. I know the SEALs. I know Special Forces. I know Raiders. I know the guys. I know the rank and file. And I'm here to tell you, Senator, it's a warning. If you're out of touch on Pete Hegseth, you're out in touch with the rank and file of the United States military.
Will, just really quickly, I want to touch on one or two real quick things. One, will there be a march? Given what you just said about the rank and file, will there be a march on Capitol Hill? I keep hearing rumors about it. Can you give us any firm details on that?
I fully expect that there will be a march that includes hundreds of SEALs and SEAL community supporters of Pete Hegseth. And I would expect that that might be joined by other elite special operators from other branches as well. Mm-hmm. And for that matter, infantry, combat, support, veterans of the United States military. I think that is something that you should expect come whatever it may be, January 8th or January 9th in Washington, D.C.
Fantastic. Given your sources in the Senate and given your close proximity to Pete and this battle, what is the landscape right now? We began your segment by showing the breaking news of Tom Cotton on Fox News saying, no, we will be nominating President Trump's selections and appointments. We will be confirming them. Does that play out in your reporting?
I think Pete Hegseth will be nominated. I think confirmed. I think his nomination will be confirmed by the United States Senate. I think he'll get enough Republicans. I think he'll get at least one Democrat. I think that will happen as well, Benny. And I think that Pete Hegseth will be your next Secretary of Defense.
Fantastic. And are you going to be are you going to be flying with Pete out to an aircraft carrier with a mission accomplished banner? On St. Patrick's
Can I just tell you, Benny, one of my favorite tweet when this happened, and now just allow me to be a person for one moment, not a journalist for one moment. One of my favorite tweets was, I would pay big money to have a hidden camera the first time Will Cain walks into the Pentagon and Pete Hegseth and Will Cain close the door behind them. It's incredible. It's incredible. My friend is in a much well-deserved position to be the next Secretary of Defense.
Fantastic. Will Cain is the host of the Will Cain Show on Fox News Audio. It airs weekdays at noon.
YouTube, Facebook.
And on YouTube, that's right. Rocking and rolling.
We're working on being as big as the Benny Show.
351,000 followers. You can follow here. This is a cover photo of, who is that? This looks like a total badass. Who's this guy, Will?
Benny, come on. This is a reflection of your age, but I'm just going to give you a little bit of culture to help you out.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at it on a smaller monitor here.
This is from the greatest movie of all time, although it was a television miniseries. It's one of the greatest actors of all time playing in the greatest role of all time. Robert Duvall as Augustus McCrae, Texas Ranger in Lonesome Dove.
Come on, baby. We could have used some of that Robert Duvall Western energy in, it was actually on display in New York. Breaking news, Will, right now. I can't let you go without announcing the breaking news. It is a news show. Daniel Penny acquitted on all charges. Acquitted in New York.
Victory for the good guys. Victory for the good guys.
This just happened, what is it, 2 minutes ago? Okay.
Wonderful.
So that's talk about some Western energy right there. We need more masculine energy in our country. I know I'm putting you on the spot, and I know you're going to talk about it on your show here in just a moment, but can I get your snap reaction, Will?
Yes. So let me tell you something, Benny. On November 4th, probably you and I and everybody watching and listening realize something. You're not alone. You're not extreme. You are the mainstream. People out there are rational, and they want a vision of America that you share. What we just saw in New York City is it's not exactly all the way full of insanity, that there are good people that sit on juries that understand the nature of a hero. We're watching people take the side of a villain everywhere we turn, from men that play women's volleyball to an assassin that takes down a CEO of United Healthcare. Now here you have the good guy being vindicated, the good guy, the hero in the situation that we need more of, Benny, being supported by the people of New York. Just like Americans supported Donald Trump and had that vision of America, it should be heartening to all of us. The world around you is not totally dominated by insanity. We are the majority. We can win with heroes.
Yes. We need more masculine energy. We need Pete Hegseth at Secretary of Defense. We need men to stand up in this culture, to stop listening to the lies that we don't matter, or that we have no power, or that we have no obligation or responsibility in society to make this a better place. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the people who's been fighting is the great Will Cain. You should check out his show. It's awesome on Fox News Audio and on YouTube. Will, thank you so much. It's great to fight with you, brother.
You as well, Benny. Thank you so much, man.
All right. Godspeed.